Hello and welcome. Stand Up World episode 60, which happens to be a perfect episode for the guest we have today because he's nowhere near the age of 60. Just saying, I don't know. I'm stretching as always. Hey, say hello to our producer extraordinaire, Patrick Arnold, from
Mike?
Boston, as always. Patrick, how you doing, man?
I'm great. I am.
Yeah,
excited.
I see you're getting ready. You're ready for the frozen tundra of Boston.
Oh my god, it's cold as hell over here, and I just found out my roof's got a leak. So, got to get someone out here to fix that. Luckily, don't have to front that bill. My landlord gets to, but we'll be all
Patrick,
right.
we're dealing with the same thing out here, man. This place.
Oh yeah, you guys are torrential downpour right now, flooding. It's crazy.
Unbelievable.
How's your neighborhood?
Diane's got buckets, making sure that her buckets don't get wet.
Well, that's good. Extra precautious. I love it.
But it's all good, and it's all good. I was going to take her to see a concert in Vegas, but she wants to stay here and protect the house. Going to take her to see Adele, but are you an Adele fan? You're probably not. You're young.
I mean, I was back in the day when she first came on the scene, but because I don't know, not really anymore.
Listen, I got to tell you, I got to be honest. I liked Adele when she was fat. I'm just going to say it.
I guess that's what I did too.
Personally, I like her. I thought she was beautiful fat face, beautiful chunky body with that great voice and great sounds. I mean, I don't know Adele, who'd you lose the weight for? Not me up in F-17 in the mezzanine because, that was for you. I'm used to, that was as if Ray Charles had his eyes fixed in the middle of his career, Oh, yeah, okay, Ray. You're not fooling anybody. We know you can see. Okay, just sing your little songs. Okay, I'm sorry, Adele. We liked you one way, and I know you want to be cute and good and hot, and I respect that. But Adele's hook was she was this heavy-set gal that could belt out the songs and the love songs. And when she's just on stage and she looks like every other model, it's different, I mean, listen, you telling me that Dolly Parton couldn't have had a breast reduction or two even? That wouldn't have made her life easier?
Right.
But no, she chose to cart those babies town to town, city to city, across the globe, back and forth and back. Sing those wonderful country songs to the guys like me up in the cheap seats in the dark, because that's what a real entertainer does. Okay, I'm sorry, Adele. So get eating. Get a box of donuts daily, sent up to the green room, and just eat them. I'm sorry. Some things have to stay the same, at least for a little while. Because
you're anti-body positive. You don't need it.
No, look at
right.
Let's be honest. Those pounds are coming back on eventually to Adele. Why not? Why not? It's not like she's staying skinny the rest of her life.
Fair.
Why screw me over? What's in it for me?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay. That's my beef with Adele today. So, does this make me a bad guy?
No, I love it. I think you're on a new level of woke that's not even around yet. Your body positive is bad now. You need.
Oh man, I saw a picture of Lizzo the other day. I thought, man, that's the best fat suit I've ever seen in my life. I thought, that's the guy that did Eddie Murphy and the Nutty Professor needs to take lessons from that guy. All right, I'm going to stop. Because I'm going to get in trouble. Let me tell you something. Our guest today is nowhere near 60. As I said, he's just a young little fucker. I think he's even younger than you, if you can believe that. If people can be younger than you. I don't think people can be younger than you.
Nope.
I think it's not legally possible to be out and about. But this guy's just a kid. He's just from Chicago, and he's on fire. Matt Friend, he's on fire, and he's so talented. I'm Stamos introduced me to him, and Stamos loves him. Stamos is just selling him to everybody who will listen to him talk about him. But he's an impressionist, but he's so much more than that. And I actually opened for him at the Bourbon Room one night. He called me up, said, "Hey, I need an opening act. You want to open for me?" I said, "You damn right I do, Matt." And he did an hour. He was so good for a guy that he felt like a guy had been doing it 20 years. Let's bring him on. Let's talk to this guy, Matt Friend. Matt Friend.
Hello.
How are you, buddy? It's good to see you.
You as well. Thanks for having me, Mike.
Thanks for being on. You're killing it. You're killing it. You're everywhere. You were on the Golden Globes. You were on the Golden Globes. You were on the Amazing Pets of Tijuana. That was great. What else were you on? You were on
what was that second one?
Amazing Pets of Tijuana. That was
I don't recall that one.
Oh no, but I'm telling you, I see you on MSNBC all the time, and
yeah,
just great.
It's as you know, it's a hustle. It's a lot you have to do. There's a lot of moving pieces to attempt to make a career. So I'm just trying to do as much as I possibly can.
Well, you're making one. I love the bit you did with Paul Giamatti. I love
Paul. Thank you very much, Mike. Guy. Thank you very much. He is a tremendous person. I totally agree. It was very fun. Very fun to do it, my friend. Very fun. It's a yelly, whispery impression. I love him.
That was a great impression. I directed him in Billions, and he was just he's such a great guy.
Oh my God. I got so lucky with that interaction because I was interviewing, like doing comedy interviews at the Golden Globes, and then I missed Paul Giamatti on the carpet, and I was kind of devastated because he walked by and I was talking to someone else. And then later that night, I'm in this hallway where the winners come through after they win the award. They have to go down this little hallway, and I happen to be standing there, and I got Giamatti literally a minute and a half after he won. So he was on a huge high, and then we did a video, and he was in an amazing mood, and I got lucky.
Yeah, I saw it. I thought it was great. And I gotta say, I just, for those who don't know, I met Matt through John Stamos, who's like just a great friend of mine, and John saw Matt on TikTok, right? And just didn't he kind of reach out to you?
We actually matched on a dating app, but
is that what? That's what I figured. I was trying to say it nicely.
Right. Yeah, we matched on Grindr. But other than that, TikTok, TikTok. John and I connected on TikTok, and it kind of explains a lot of how my career is happening. But TikTok is what did it, and John is the best, and I'm grateful he introduced me to you.
Yeah. Well, he actually forwarded me your Grindr whole information.
That's right.
But no, John's amazing. John is so supportive of when he finds some talented person that he loves. He's so excited about it. Before he introduced us, he kept telling me about you. He was just, Mike, you got to meet Matt Friend. And I have to say, a lot of it, when you and I finally met and we worked together at the Bourbon Room.
You kindly opened for me at the Bourbon Room. Yes.
I told him, I said, I think one of the reasons you like Matt so much is he kind of reminds us a little bit of Bob Saget, a young Bob Saget. And I think that's where a lot of it was, but John is such a supporter of talent. It's amazing when he thinks someone's great. He talks about you all the time.
Well, that means a lot, and thank you for those kind words. Yeah, that's. But I fucking love Bob Saget, and
Me too.
What was the name of his special again? That one. I know he did a few, but I forget the one. Like it was after Full House. He has this. It was so vulgar. I mean, it was the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. He
Yeah.
goes, I forget what it was called, but legend.
He had quite a few. I don't know which one you're talking about. They were all dirty. Dirty. Well, and his book was called Dirty Daddy.
Yeah.
And the special we did for the memorial we did for him on Netflix was called Dirty Daddy.
That ain't right. That ain't right. That special. That ain't right.
Yeah,
was so
that's
funny.
right.
Oh my God.
So the other thing I love about you is, and you're how old are you? You're 25, 20?
25, yeah.
You're such a kid. How old are you, Patrick?
God damn, I was gonna say, fuck. Here I am thinking I'm doing all right, and I'm 23.
Yeah, you guys are kids. But Matt when I saw Matt do an hour, he was so polished and he filled that hour so perfectly. And it really sometimes it takes guys 10 years to get that strong in an hour. And he goes, I said, how long have you been doing it? He goes, basically, I think about 3 years. I just wanted to punch him so hard, and the thing is, the other thing is, most people would say, well, Matt's an impressionist, but of that hour, I would say such a huge percent of it was just stand-up, was just Matt talking about his life and girls, and the fact that he doesn't have sex with girls, so that he's probably gay, and that he wants to be gay, and things like the important things that a young guy's life.
I think you're heavily editing my hour of stand up here.
But it was funny as hell. And I thought, this guy is not really an impressionist. He's a stand-up comic who happens to do impressions.
Well, no, when I hear that from you, it does mean a lot. Because it was funny, my sister called me a glorified parrot recently, and I thought it would be a great name for a comedy special one day. But yeah, no, because I love like the old school show business, and I have like a lot of inspirations, and I look at the old like impressionists, like a Rich Little as an example, mega talented, but I'm very interested in like developing my own point of view and getting that out there in the hour, and that's what I've been doing. And to have you recognize it means a lot. So thank you.
Yeah, no, listen, I think no matter what you do is going to be great. And my son, who's very, very hard to please. My son he's 29 or 28, yep. But he and he's just grown up with comedians. They were in his living room his whole life. And that night we drove home, and he thought you were great. And he's so hard to impress. He's so hard to impress. But he thought he should have his own talk show. That guy should have his own talk show. And I said,
yeah, no, well, that means a lot. I'm just accepting compliments here. I mean, this is the best podcast for my ego I've ever experienced. But no, talk show would be the dream. I mean, because I love late night, and I think about it a lot. I mean, when I was younger, and I still do it, like even when I'm just eating lunch in my apartment, I just love watching old Carson clips. There was something about that era of late night, like where there was a lack of a need to promote a project, where the segment was just about kind of comedy and showcasing a talent, or just like being really funny, or like having a drink and seeing a celebrity in a very laid back situation. And I kind of I think about ways to do that with my generation, and that's definitely something I would love to do.
I was thinking along those same lines. Like, you're so multi-talented in so many different ways. Do you have a bigger goal, long-term goal of what you eventually want to end up at, or like this big one thing that you're like set on right now is your dream?
I mean, I think it's good to have to say what the dream is, or else it won't happen.
Well, first of all, you got to get off Grindr. That's got to be your first dream.
You got to get off of Grindr.
Okay, that's a goal.
Yeah.
Meet a guy.
Now, for listeners, by the way, I am heterosexual, but we are including jokes about certain dating apps, which is true. And
Matt is heterosexual. We're dealing with it.
We're dealing with it very well. The dream, like the ultimate dream. I know it sounds crazy because like I'm 25, but like the dream is like to host the Golden Globes, like the White House Correspondents' Dinner. That is like a big dream of mine. To do something like that.
That's so cool.
And I love that you say you do. You do got to say it sometimes. You got to throw it out there to the universe.
You got to throw it out there. Well, what I found too is if I throw it out there, then it makes me actually work toward it. I know you're friends with Jim Carrey, right?
Yeah.
Aren't you?
I've been for many years.
And no, one thing I've loved about like clips of him is like he talks about writing a $10 million check for himself, and he kept it in his wallet. And no, I saw that, and I there's certain like manifestation, whatever, like it's a very overused term now, but you have to work like aggressively to make these things happen, like, do all these shows and go to events and meet people and whatever, but you also have to put it out there. I think that's important because then it makes you work toward what you're trying to achieve.
No, absolutely. And let me tell you something. When Jim and I were kids or young, and we both did our first HBO special together, the 11th anniversary of the Comedy Store. We got hired in a kite one night, and we walked from Hollywood to Westwood.
Oh
and
God.
he was like saying, I'm going to be a movie star. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And the same thing about the check and everything. He was just talking about manifestation. We went to my apartment. I showed him all the scripts I had written. So these are the movies I'm going to make. And we were just totally just putting it out there, what we wanted to do, and I think we both, part of us thought, hey, maybe we're just hired in a kite and we're just talking, but we meant it. We meant it and we did it,
Based off of that background, you seem to be doing pretty well, Mike. Right.
Based on the what?
Based off the background on Zoom here, you seem to have achieved those dreams.
Yeah, we've done okay. But I'm just saying, that everyone I knew, everyone that I started with who did really well, either just was like so confident or was okay to just say, this is what I want to do. And then,
well, I think in comedy, like in stand up, like that, it's kind of like a requirement. In my view, like if you really want to, I'm still figuring it out myself. It's not like I'm successful, but I'm saying like what I'm doing actively is like you have to kind of trick yourself into being confident because you're going on a goddamn stage every night with material that you don't necessarily know if it's going to make people laugh. So it's almost like a delusional confidence. It's like you're kind of playing a character in a way, and then that probably seeps into other areas of your life. But you have to be confident, or else I think confidence.
You improvise a lot, don't you?
On stage?
Yes. So much.
I have a framework. I have the material, but then I also am leaving room now for like improvising for sure. But you have to have the.
But I'm talking about when I see you like on these news shows and stuff.
Yes.
Yes. You just seem to go. You just seem to go with the flow so well.
Thank you. Yeah, that's like pretty improvised. I don't really know what's coming.
It's called improvisation, Matt. Going with the flow, and we call that improvisation. The older fellas here.
That's right. I love that, baby. I love that shit. Come on, Del Close. You think I don't know the history? Come on, Mike. Here we go. Okay.
I know you do.
We love a little bit.
You Chicago kids, look at Del Close.
Yeah, Del Close. Yeah, I interned at Second City growing up, and I grew up like 5 minutes away from there.
Oh yeah.
I always loved Second City, and I did like an Improv Olympic when I was younger, like a 7-week summer crash course in improv. It was awesome.
That's what I figured. And on top of that, you write a lot of your stuff is written.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm I've been developing like this an hour, and those are like written out. Yeah, that's written material that I've like memorized and telling stories and
that's great.
uh, yeah.
Yeah, you see, it feels like it when you're watching the show. That you feel like there's a lot of material, but then when I see you on these little clips, it feels like a lot of you just a fluidity that I think is really important to have. I personally don't love crowd work. I like to
Yeah,
do it if I have to,
yeah.
I like fluidity. I
Yeah,
like
no, I think if you're headlining, like it's good to have you need to have the material, but then I think it's good to have a little room like for some local humor or like just a couple of moments of like acknowledging who's in the room. But like that's not really like the centerpiece of my show. Obviously it works for some people, but I was on stage in San Diego a couple nights ago and I said to someone like, what do you do? And then they replied and I said, can I just take a second? Isn't this annoying? The goddamn state of comedy. They're like, I'm supposed to be a fucking detective up here right now. Who gives a shit what you do? Just sit back and enjoy
right,
my voices, and I'll dance for you like a goddamn
right,
monkey. And that's what you came for.
right,
Okay.
right. Yeah. But and there are, like you say, Jessica Kirshon's so good at it, and
He's insanely amazing.
Matt Rife and Rick Ingram, but and to me, I always feel like the audience is going, "Hey, man, we paid. Put a
Yeah.
show on for us."
Unless that's what you're known for. Like with Jess Kirsten, she is insanely crazy
She's
good at
amazing.
it. And people know
She's
that. That's
amazing.
what they're coming to see because she puts those clips out there. But other than that, it's tough.
Yeah. And you just said you were at the American Comedy Company.
I was. I loved it.
I love that room. I love that room.
I loved it too. It was my first weekend, so I never had like a full weekend of headlining before, and now I'm starting to do that, which is very exciting. And 5 shows in a weekend is intense. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's a cool room. I love the low ceilings, and I love
Oh my god,
how
yeah,
the people are so into comedy down there.
they are
And
amazing, and the staff was great. I mean,
and
yeah,
the
they were
owner's
really.
crazier than hell.
Oh, really?
Oh, you didn't meet him?
I met her,
He's
but
no,
no.
oh no, you didn't meet him then. He's a
Okay,
great
gotcha.
guy. He's out of his mind. I
He's
love
great,
him.
but he's a psychopath.
He
Yeah, exactly.
he's so funny that he's just like he's so into comedy, and he's just a nut. I think it's Andrew or something. I forget his name, but he's just. And then the other thing is the other great room is the La Jolla Comedy Store, which is a completely different crowd, and
Yeah.
the way away. But
I imagine the La Jolla Comedy Store would be a lot more like the people I grew up with, if you
yes,
could tell my vibe. Yeah, I went on stage and I said, "Don't I look like I'm from La Jolla?" I didn't realize like the whole area surrounding the comedy club. I joked it was like The Walking Dead. I mean, my God, it was just there were needles everywhere, like zombies walking outside. I mean, it was just fucking
yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
It
yeah. I
was
made that same
unbelievable.
thing. I said, you realize I could trip over and land on something and overdose. I could just
That is,
overdose here.
it was crazy. I mean, it was. I had a joke. I was like, I didn't realize that they brought a music festival here. Bonnaroo is coming to San Diego because everybody's camping. So, which is very interesting. Yeah, a lot of tents.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's cool. Yeah, it was fun.
And are you living full time in LA now?
No, I'm in New York, but I
That's what
mean,
I thought.
this year I might as well be. I mean, I spent literally the first like 2.5 weeks of the year here, and then I'm here for another week, and I'm coming like 3 more times. I'm basically here. I mean, it's kind of a hybrid. I'm in hotels, but I like to. I'm kind of doing. I'm doing about what I'm doing. Kind of requires me to be in a lot of different places. So, but I
You're
like
doing
having the home.
dentistry? Is that what it is?
Say it again.
Dentistry?
That's right.
Dentistry?
I'm a dentist. Yeah, that's right. That is correct. A dentist on Grinder. Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
bio.
that's right.
But I
That's why you're getting so many taps.
that's why we have the oral. We love doing oral, right? Oral protection, right? But but yeah, no, I like having the base in New York right now. I mean, Because you started in LA.
No,
right?
I started in Detroit.
Detroit.
And Windsor and
Okay.
Toronto, and then I moved. Then I moved out. Then I moved out to LA when I was 18.
So that's a start. I think I consider that a start when you're 18. Like you had a crazy early start then.
Yeah, I started. Right? I was actually doing it when I was like 17, and but
okay.
yes.
But the real start was like when you were 18, you moved to LA.
Yep.
So then, yeah, like for me, because starting in New York, I don't know. I feel like it's easier. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on it. I feel like it's easier to like hustle in New York, and I can do a lot of spots in the city and run around, and I don't know.
Yeah, well, especially back then, and I think now too. But you could do the guys like my friends that were from the same era as me. They were doing 5 and 6 shows a night in New York, and we would be lucky to get 2 or 3. You know?
It's pretty crazy. Yeah,
but then there was also a time when you kind of had to be in LA.
Right.
Everybody eventually came to LA, but that's gone. That's really so gone. I don't think
especially in the stand-up scene, like with what Rogan has done with like Texas, and just so spread out with post-pandemic with social media. Like anyone can really make any show or do anything from their apartment, and we're doing it now.
What about Chicago? Have you gone back and played Chicago since things are taking off?
Yeah, I did City Winery in Chicago. I just did that a couple months ago, and it felt like my bar mitzvah. It was very distracting. Like all my parents' friends were there, and like it's a little difficult doing my jokes when I see my grandparents' friends sitting in the crowd. I'm like talking about having sex as Donald Trump, and then there's like my grandfather's friend Margie. Like, and it's just like it's very, but it was fun. I mean, it's crazy going back home and doing. I love Chicago. I mean, I'm lucky to be a comedian and be from Chicago.
Yeah, it's a great town. It's
a great town. It's my kind of town. Chicago is.
Wait, did you just write that? Because that's so melodic.
That's my song. Yeah, I wrote that.
That's your song. That's the Matt Friend song.
I created it. Yes. Yes.
Matt, what was one of the first things for you that you think started the snowball? Like where, you could start to feel fans coming on, whether it was online or
probably my feet pics. That's the thing that got started. So I would upload
the fan base.
But other than the feet pics and the soft porn, no, I would say no. Look, the moment I could say it started was I'm at NYU. I'm a senior in college. It's 2020, and the pandemic begins. And then I was doing stand-up and having momentum in that while I was still in school. And then I moved back home. It's COVID. It's March of 2020, and I'm uploading on TikTok, Instagram, Parler, Truth Social. I'm kidding. Just TikTok and Instagram. And that's when I was posting on social media. It was when things started to happen. Like a couple weeks into the pandemic, like Sebastian Maniscalco guest hosted on Kimmel. And then he talked about my impression of him on the air. So and then he pulls my clip and he puts it on the monologue when he's hosting Kimmel. And then I did the Today Show with Hoda and Jenna, and all these media appearances started to happen. And that was all a result of putting videos from my phone on TikTok. And then it was that moment in 2020 when it kind of started, and then it's just kind of been a build ever since. But I mean, it's incremental. It's not like one day one thing is happening. It's like a lot of steps.
No, that's awesome. It's funny. You were the one of the first comics that my friends' moms reached out to me about.
Great. Beautiful.
Like, you got to get this guy. He's great.
Thank you. I hope you still feel the same.
Have you become friends with Sebastian? Have you met him?
I wouldn't say I'm friends with him, but I've seen him a few times. And now I'm with his agent, so he probably thinks I'm fully stalking him. But he's been super nice every time I've seen him. I think I'm doing a show with him at the Ice House in like a week, but he's great. Yeah. I saw him in person in LA and I talked about it on stage. I went up to him and we did a bit, and he just goes, "Stop bothering me and go back to your table. Shut off the phone." What?
That's
No,
excellent.
he's great.
It's excellent.
Thank you.
Oh man, I mean that's a really good question. You're always holding the phone, or you have someone with you? Do people ever go, hey, knock that shit off? Or
No, it depends on how you approach it. My best celebrity encounter was with the original screenwriter of Crossing the Bridge. Just wanted to go for a deep cut there. But anyways, no, it depends on how he has a Wikipedia page, Mike Binder. But anyways, it depends on how you approach it with these people. Like, you can't be a complete raging psychopath freak. You have to make them relax. And like, I'm not just going up to people randomly on the street. It's genuine run-ins with people that I have encountered. And you know, it's like, it's careful. It's, you know, I'm like, hi, like, it's, you kind of ease into
you talk
it.
first, and then you go, hey, can we do a thing?
You're not just gonna shove your phone in someone's face like a TMZ cameraman. That's completely psychotic.
Right, I get it.
And also, a lot of them have kind of seen me and kind of have seen my stuff, so that helps.
Yeah, and I imagine at shows and like Golden Globes and stuff, it's easier. But on the street, yeah, you talk to them and you go, "Hey, nice to meet you."
That is the magic of New York, though, where no one gives a shit. So, like in LA, it would be a lot more difficult, I'd imagine. But in New York, these great, like, I met Andy Cohen of Bravo, and I met him in New York.
Another guy you met on Grindr. Go
Exactly.
ahead and say it.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that could be the case, but
no.
I'm walking down this. Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go finish.
I'm walking down the street, and I see him, and he's wearing these tight shorts. He's in the middle of a selfie with a fan, and he just looks at me and goes, "You're the guy who does me, right?" And then I'm thinking, that's probably not the first time he said that to a guy on the sidewalk. And then and then we do a little video, and I go, "Andy Cohen, what do you think of this Andy impression?" And he just goes, "I don't have a problem with it. I mean, you're young, you're cute, and you're Jewish. Yes." And then I post the video on Instagram, and all the comments have one central theme, and that theme was, they definitely fucked after this encounter. But anyways, I had a lot of funny. Yeah.
It's really funny. I was talking to Dane Cook, and we were talking about you. And I told him
really?
Yeah, and I told him that we were friends. And actually, I forget why I thought we were going to do a show together at the Bourbon Room, and Dane was going to stop by. And
Tonight?
No. Yeah,
it
was a couple of weeks ago when you were going to come by.
Okay.
Right, and
yeah.
So Dane and he goes. He goes. He doesn't do me though, right? I go, well, give him 30 seconds and he will. He goes, no, I don't know. A lot of these guys, they do me and they don't do me well. He goes, when he does you, he'll do you well. I promise you. But it was really funny.
Oh my God. I'd love to meet. I've met him, like, I think in passing, but I'd love to meet him because I'm such a fan.
Yeah, he's great. And then he started telling me about how these guys do them all wrong or something. I don't. But
you know what? For the people that say that they do them wrong, I like to, because the most important thing for me is vocal accuracy, and then you can have fun with it. I just want to make sure I get the voice down. But yeah, Dane Cook, I don't really have it yet. He has like an Army Hammer quality in the voice, like a hi Dane, hello. There's something there with that. I don't know what it is. I have to figure it out, but it's there. I know what it is. I have to figure it out. I will.
Yeah, and he also, I like with his stand-up, he's just like, did it. He really uses his voice well.
He does.
But I'm not. You know Dave Coulier. Have you met Dave Coulier yet?
We met on FaceTime. Stamos did a group call, and I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. And then we did it. Yeah, he's another guy who I would have loved to have, like, come up with, like to have seen him like in the clubs working out and stuff. But what a guy. Yeah, I don't know him well, but just met on FaceTime
You
once.
guys will love each other. He's like my best friend. I've forever, and he does voices. I can't even believe the voices he does. He's just amazing, and he catches them so fast, and like people that you like, just the neighbor and this and but I
Well,
was
that's how it
wondering.
starts.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
that's
good
how it
one. What was
starts.
your first impression, Matt? Like, when did you first start doing these?
I did Austin Powers, and I don't really do them anymore, but I did like Dr. Evil. And when I was 4 years old, I watched that movie, and that's what got me obsessed with like just comedy in general. And then I would do like my teachers and my grandfather. Hello, Don Levinson. How you doing? I can't believe it. So that's him. I would do him and my uncle, and yeah, yeah. But no, you were asking a question. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was wondering if you've gotten into yet, like heavy makeup and wigs and all that, because that seems like it would take you to the whole next
Only
level
when I'm
with
having sex,
impressions.
Mike. Only when I'm having sex. But
I get it.
no, a little bit. Like I've done a little bit of that, but in terms of like an SNL level prosthetic, that would probably take it to a crazy level.
Yeah, it seems like it.
I don't know where Hollywood is. Let's get some producers. Let's get a budget. Let's go, baby. But
Yeah, I
that would
know,
be
but I always thought with Dave, and I think with you too, you guys, just taking it to the next level. Like, did you ever remember that guy who did George W. Bush, and then he did Obama? Dude, he
didn't he
died.
do
He
it?
passed.
He did both of them.
Yeah, he did them pretty incredible. But
Okay.
he did such a deep makeup job. He, so much
Yeah,
of
I
it was.
mean, for that, I don't want to rely on props or makeup. Like I need to be
I
good
think,
myself. But it'd be fun for a sketch to take it to another level, like put orange face paint on or whatever the fuck. And yeah,
when I was a kid, the first act that I did before I got back into it, I did a lot of it, what I would call impressions, but they were
yep,
never impressions. I did like, I would do, here's my impression of a day at Disneyland. And
yeah.
then I
How
would
would that
do,
go?
then I would be a person just standing in line for hours and hours, just turning the next corner and the next corner. And, just, or I would do my impression, a Jew hunting. And then he's a guy crouching down, and I'll have a pint of that and a quart of that and a gallon and a half of that, and just things like, the kind of
Yeah.
abstract things. But I always called them impressions, and I did a lot of them, but
No,
I never,
that's amazing.
they were never vocal. They were never vocal. It
Yeah.
was just kind of impressions of life, and people always liked that. And that was at a time I found that other guys were doing that too. Impression. Here's my impression of running out of a gas station or something.
Yeah. You see that a lot on TikTok and on social media. Like people do stuff like that, like different things that are relevant in pop culture. Like they'll do like a little micro impression of something.
Right.
I did
Right.
a lot.
But the I never had the ear, and plus having Dave Coulier as my roommate for 7
Yeah.
years, and my best friend from when we were little kids. It's like I didn't even bother trying.
It's crazy that he was your roommate. Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, for so long, and there was, and he's still incredible at it. He does people we know, and just fuck.
Yeah.
He used to do these characters. I tried to get him when he was on the podcast. I tried to get him to do this one guy for Patrick that he used to do for Saget. He would make Saget laugh so hard Saget would almost throw up. This little retarded kid that was like hanging out with Bob all the time. Dave would go into this kid so deep that he sometimes wouldn't come out of it. He would be at a restaurant. Hey, Bob, Bob, when that time when you told me about the little kid who put his hand in your pants. Remember you told me that, Bob?
Sounds like an Andy Kaufman level situation.
Oh my God, he would go so deep into it, and then you go, Dave, come back. Come back, Dave. I don't know what you're talking about. Come back. Do you remember that, Patrick?
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, it was the hardest I'd laughed in a while. Just seeing him.
Oh my
the
God.
second we stopped recording, he just like snapped into this character, and it was something. It was very impressive. It was something else.
Do you do any characters that aren't impressions?
I do. Yeah, no, I do. I've been doing it on stage, like different ones I've been developing. Like one is like a micro one. I feel like I'm going to be the dad in about 10, 15 years who just starts taking practice golf swings in the middle of a random conversation. And then I kind of do this character of like, it's based off of my dad now. Like he just kind of does that, like waiting in line at a restaurant. He'll just like kind of chip. And I'm like, what are you doing? And I'm just like explaining something horrible. And it's kind of like a Johnny Carson type thing. So that's one. I do another one, an A-list actor who pretends he's never heard of his also A-list girlfriend before they started dating. It's based off of celebrity interviews, like when there's an A-list couple, and it's like they always kind of, it's like, it was funny. We were set up a year ago, and I never even heard of her. I didn't know that she had 65 million Instagram followers, or that she was knighted, and I didn't know that she won 8 Grammys and 5 Oscars and 3. Like I don't know, like that's like something. Yeah,
that's great. That's great.
So yeah,
that's great.
I love that though. I think it's those are fun to do.
Yeah. And what about writing? Are you doing any writing, or do you see yourself like maybe writing any of your stuff one day? Like, I don't mean not to stand up.
No, I mean, I've been so focused on on this stand up, and then on like just writing about things that are happening like politically and pop culture. But I definitely I wrote some pilots like in college a couple years ago, and I'm actively thinking about like kind of developing my own scripted show format.
That'll never happen. That'll never happen.
Fantastic. No. Thank you. Beautiful. I'll just give up on that. I'm not going to.
Give up on that.
Throw that out the window. I'm just going to keep doing
the voice. Dreams. Don't have dreams. Don't do it.
I'm going to keep dancing like a monkey boy, and that's it. But yeah, no, I definitely want to write something.
And when you went to NYU, like, I'm sure you took those classes, right, and all that. Is that what?
Yeah, no, I was in a school called Gallatin, where you like design your own major. Sounds like the Derek Zoolander Center for Kids Who Can't Read Good.
Yeah.
I did a major. It was the title of it. I wrote a paper on the role of satire in society. So I did satire like ancient Greece and Rome, and like did like a whole thing on how it's evolved, like how like Aristophanes would be like comedy is allied to justice or some shit. Like that was one of his quotes. And then I contrast that with like the Johnny Carson era, where he did a Barbara Walters interview, and he said like, why would I ever want to comment on social issues? Then I would piss off half of my audience. And like he kind of talks about that. And like today with the Colbert era, where it's more directly poking at who's in charge in the government. And so I think about that, but I definitely took some there were writing and different drama classes that I took, but I feel like a lot of what we do is just like going out and doing it yourself.
Yeah, it really is. It's putting on your own little show. And you have, how many siblings do you have?
A brother and a sister.
And are they doing it too?
No.
Are they
my sister, my sister is an amazing writer. She is now like doing her own independent, like freelance writing. She was an editor at Food and Wine magazine, and then now she's doing like just her own journalism stuff. She's genuinely incredible. Then my brother is he works for a healthcare tech startup.
And he's older than you?
Yeah, I'm the baby. Yeah.
You're the baby? That's
Yeah.
great. But
Yeah.
they gotta
How about you?
be super jazzed by what they're seeing, right?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's fucking insane, all this shit. It's wild.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. Listen, enjoy it. I remember when I was a kid, my family was really proud of me, but they also were like, they didn't understand it at all. you know, they just didn't understand it in any way. And then I had, it's funny the way you were telling that story about the movie. I had a brother and he lived in Philadelphia, and he's like, Mike, and talked to him. I goes, so you're on TV? I go, yeah. He goes, yeah. And I have friends tell me that all the time. I go, okay. He had been in the service, and he just goes, yeah, I have friends tell me you're on TV. That's cool. I just
They
go,
just didn't
okay.
really understand. Yeah. It is a
Yeah,
weird thing because I think part of it is like you don't go to like law school. It's like there's no path for this shit. Like people will ask about advice or whatever, and like, what's the advice you could fucking give? Like, there's not really any advice. It's like it's so random how this. That's what I'm figuring out. It's like you just make your own luck. You write your own show.
that's right.
It's hard to understand. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And you
it's
just
crazy.
you gotta run with the ball when you got it, and
Yep.
enjoy it, and like I loved what you said. You gotta sometimes uh, claim it and proclaim what you want, and not be
Yeah.
afraid to say what I want. And the other thing I would say, without sounding like an old fuck, man, is don't get in your way. Don't
Yeah.
don't get in your own way. I got in my own way with drugs and alcohol and a lot of other shit, and don't get in your own way, man. It's a beautiful thing to just accept the ride and just get out of your. You don't need to look for trouble. That's when
I
I
only do
think of.
Zyrtec, so I'm good. Yeah.
You use what?
I only do Zyrtec, so I'm good.
Oh yeah. That's good. That's all right.
Yeah.
No, I see so many guys. I saw so many guys just throw it away. You
Yeah.
know.
No,
And
that's yeah. The regret thing is what not scares me. It's a driving thing. It's like I don't want to have any regrets of what I could have done. So that's why I'm trying to do as much as
yeah,
I can.
you're going to do really well. You're going to do really well. Just honestly, just don't get alone too long with Stamos. That's the only thing I'll tell you. And when you are, go over to his place with a lot of duct tape on your ass.
A lot of
Okay?
duct tape on my ass and my mouth, right? Yeah, exactly.
No, your mouth is fine. It just, for me, when I go over to Stamos' house, I just put a strips of duct tape all up and down my buttock, both directions. It's locked in tight. And
What about when he gives you a
then I'm
pizza?
comfortable. Then I'm
What about when
comfortable, and he can't get anywhere near me.
But what about when he makes you a pizza and you just want to rip that duct tape off because it's so sensual?
I'll deal with that later. I would much deal with that later. But a guy,
It is
especially
hard. It is. It's not like you're going over to like, fucking who's an ugly actor? I'm just off the top of your head. Who's like an ugly looking person who acts?
Margot Robbie.
Okay, but that's a bad example.
Let herself go. You mean like Margot Robbie?
Yeah, it's not like you're going to like Alfred Hitchcock's house, okay? Like prime Alfred Hitchcock, okay?
Oh
like
man, why would you let yourself off so easy by going with a guy who's been dead 70 years?
You're going because
okay?
he didn't exactly have that
You
John
could have said
Stamos.
Jay Leno, been a little risky. You could have done anything. You could have said Mike Binder, but no.
You know what? If I
said
Jay Leno, that would burn him. Not as much as he gets burned in his own garage, but that's a separate conversation. Hey now, right, Robin, right. But yeah, crazy.
No.
You know what's something funny? When I went over to John's house a couple of months ago, we went over to Richard Marx's house because they're kind of live nearby. Do you know Richard Marx?
I don't. I've met him. Yeah.
And so random. My dad, and I'm not in a show business family or anything, but Richard grew up in Chicago and he went to middle school with my dad. And
That's
then
really fun.
and then he was following me on TikTok like during the pandemic, and he shared one of my videos like a couple months ago that I messaged him like so random, but I think you might know my dad. Like, do you remember my dad, Bill Friend from like North Shore, whatever? And then he goes, "Holy shit!" He had no idea the connection, so it was just completely random. Yeah,
And so that must have been great that you just walked over to his place, man.
yeah, it was so fun. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Of course, you would have been invited, but your butthole wasn't duct taped. So
no, I was invited, but there was no duct tape in the car, and all the hardware
right,
stores were closed.
exactly.
And
Yeah, well,
I
you
don't
certainly have
and
the
I
hardware.
don't go over to the Stamos mansion without some protection on the back door because I know the guy. Okay.
My God. Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
but I was going to ask you something else about that.
Please. Oh, here
Forget
we go.
I'm old. I just something. The bridge is out.
Yeah, Mike,
Boom,
I can tell. Anyways,
just like you didn't need that to know. But that's great. God, who else? I was going to tell you something. Someone else is always over at his house. I was just going to remind you.
he is the fucking coolest person that like he is so, and I'm not just, like, what's an expression? Not like just metaphorically jacking him off, but like I don't even know, like he is so awesome. And I don't know, I've been finding like it is very rare someone at that level of fame and success, and to be like that, like to have that level of humility and like willingness to want to help someone like me who's like coming up and making introductions, inviting him over, like doing some videos. Like it's kind of it's amazing.
Hold on, yeah. I real quick. I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to try to see if we can get him on the phone.
Yeah, call him,
Um,
call him.
on the FaceTime. But the other thing is, you ran into my buddy Steve Gutenberg.
Yes, yes, that was random too. He just reached out about getting together, and we got together. It's crazy. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Fingers crossed. Matt, plug your upcoming dates while we wait. Where are you coming next?
Well, Stamos is on, so we got to plug.
No, he would have picked up already if he was going to pick up.
Wow, that's pretty fucked up. Wouldn't it be crazy if I tried calling him and he answered?
Do it.
That'd be hilarious.
So, my dates, yes, tickets at mattfriend.com. Everybody come see me, please. I have so many cities. Come by. It's going to be a lot of fun. Detroit coming up. I have DC. It's going to be crazy. So everybody, mattfriend.com, come see me, and hopefully we'll get Mike out to one of my Mike. If you're in Detroit, maybe you can come by that show.
What are the dates? I will.
It's in February. I'll get you the dates. I think it's like February 16th and 17th.
And Matt, give him your grinder handle.
Well, my Instagram handle is the Matt Friend. Unfortunately, it's not my grinder handle. But my Instagram handle.
Your grinder handle is baby's arm, right?
My grinder handle is Bob Saget. So that's
young Bob Saget.
You know what's weird? My dad looks like Bob Saget, which is weird.
I think he does. I saw a picture of him.
Yeah, he does.
I think he
looks like
him. He does.
And we always said that growing up, like before I even knew John and you. So it's maybe it's just kismet. I don't know.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, man, you're a great guy, Matt. You really are.
Oh my God, you're the best.
I'm so happy for you. I'm really happy for you. And all kidding aside, I just know, I know the best is yet to come for you.
Thank you so much, and thanks for being so nice always and kind. And I hope to see you. I'll see you hopefully this week if you're around.
Yeah, I'm around.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you,
man.
Mike.
All right. Love Matt Friend. That guy, let me tell you something. That guy's going to be a big star. He wants it. He deserves it because he works his butt off and he's super talented. and he's just got it. He reminds me so much of Saget when Saget was his age. He's just, God, he's got Saget's vibe in so many ways. I really dig this kid. He's going to have his own talk show, his own something. He's going to be around a long time. Okay, listen, we got a great some shows. Please, Saturday night, this Saturday night. Tonight, actually, because this comes out Saturday.
Tonight. Yeah.
Tonight, I'm at the Ice House in Pasadena, the longest running comedy club in the country, a beautiful club that Jerry Buss has just redone, and it's just gorgeous. I'm in the big main room tonight. I got some great people with me: Catherine Blanford, Tom Arnold, Paul Rodriguez, Dan Levy, Fraser Smith, Vinny Faslin, Dwight Pride. Just a great show. Come out. Get out there. 9:00. We're going to have a great night tonight. I'm so into it. Also, March 8th and 9th in Detroit, redoing my Detroit Comedy Jam, a monthly thing. We're going to be doing it with Howie Mandel and John Stamos are my first guests. We're going to do it once a month at the Cambria Hotel, downtown Detroit, March 8th and 9th, 2 shows a night. It's also in support of my buddy Mitch Album's charity, Have Faith Haiti. It's an orphanage Mitch and his wife Janine have built and run, and they put their heart and passion and their own money and their life into this. So we're going to raise money for them, and it's going to be a great show. And Heather J is going to be there too, who's a phenomenal comic, a Detroiter. So if you're in Detroit, go to the DetroitComedyJam.com and get some tickets, and let's get this going. And also, very important, February 21st. Is that right? Am I right? It's February 21st.
Yep.
Wednesday night. My buddy RFK Jr., we're having a fundraiser for him, downtown LA, for his campaign with Tim Dillon and Adam Carolla and God, so many great acts. Cheryl Hines is hosting it, the future First Lady of America. I personally believe that's Cheryl out there barking. If you can hear her, she's a barker too. Oh, geez, that's a bad joke. Had nothing to do with that's my wife barking. That's not Cheryl. Oh God, it's a great show. Tim Dillon, Rob Schneider. God damn, that's Dustin Ibarra. God damn. Anyway, it's a great show. Gotta hate when I blow the ending of the show, of a good episode. Just babble on. Come to the show. Go to RFK's website. I love you guys. You're the best for supporting this show. We're growing. We're building. We're staying with it. We're gonna make this a great podcast to turn you on to a lot of great talent, and we're having fun, right, Patrick? That's the important thing. We're having fun. We're having fun, and we're gonna find the cure for that fuzziness in the background of Patrick's life. So stay with us. Love you. Thanks.